still post into a few groups. On Facebook. I'm gonna get blocked tonight by Facebook. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 'Cause I'm gonna get blocked I'm sorry, man. I think we're just about ready, you guys. I saw that. I love that movie. I think we're ready. I promise this how we I'm gonna get real lively in a second. You know, throw on my spokesperson face. Ready? Alright, I'm gonna change the visual so you guys can see it. Took me off my Hi, Randy. All right. Let's turn this to the side and let's go ahead and make sure that's set up and ready to go. Now the kids are getting in trouble. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. All right, let's go. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Go ahead and say something. Ready? Go. Huh? That's strange. No, I'm going to my live stream, and then it keeps cutting off the line. Like, it's not cutting off, but it takes me to another section, or it takes me to another video on YouTube. So it's like it has a limit. Let's see if it does it again. Yeah, it does it again. That's strange. Okay, oh well. Let's go. Alright, you guys ready? Hey, you know what? Randy, can you check and see if it does that to you? Like if it has a limit? Like go on to, are you on the YouTube page? And is it cutting off and taking you to another video? Like if you go to YouTube right now and go to the Awaken Show page, does it let you watch it for like maybe a couple, like 30 seconds and then go to another YouTube channel or another YouTube video? Give it 30 seconds. Let me know if it changes to another video. It's not doing it now. Maybe it should. Oh, it's just me. Fuck it. All right, guys, ready? All right, here we go. Okay, hold on. I got nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. What the fuck? Shit. Yeah, no, man. Yeah, I know, right? What's going on, people? This is your voice. No, they can't hear us. It's your voice in history in the Oregon show. And you're watching the American UFO Society quarantine talk for the first time. Okay, yeah. All right, I got it. Let's just be dicks. All right. Here we go. What's going on, everyone? This is your boy Say One History, and you are watching the Awaken Show with the segment of American UFO Society Quarantine Talk here. And I have none other than my good friends on the line with us right now. We have Mike and we have Randy on the line. And we got a lot of stuff going for you guys tonight. I mean, this is going to be a really, really special show. We set up a few things. We're going to be looking at some footage that you guys actually posted online, and we're going to analyze it with you. So if you guys want to actually go in and leave a comment, let me know what you think about these videos. These are not ours per se. These are on the UFO groups here. So we're going to try to keep your information discreet, but if it comes up with your name for a quick second, please forgive us. We're not trying to put you guys out there like that. With that being said, man, what's going on, you guys? I mean, Randy, Mike, what's happening?
Not much.
Everything is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to catch up. My everything just kind of glitched out, and I just popped in and heard, Randy, how's it going? And Mike was. I was like, hold up, everything just froze. But go ahead. What was the question?
Just asking how everybody's doing, man. I mean, like we were saying, not only are we going to be analyzing the footage that's coming from Facebook here, but we actually have a live feed of the stars tonight, like we usually do on the live UFOs or the Awaken show. So we're going to go back and forth on those, and I think you're going to find that very interesting tonight. We're going to try to go as long as we can. We have some very analytical people out there, and then of course on the show with us live here, of course, Randy and Mike. And let's just start with the first piece of footage. So I'm going to actually post this up. I'm going to try to take their information off, but it doesn't look like it's going to allow me to do that here. So you know what, let's just do this. I'll just kind of cut their footage, their top part off for a quick second. Okay. I might be a little upset if
I mean, Freedom of Information Act, I don't know, like it's a public profile. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't like, not to piss anyone. You have a Facebook.
Shoot, I'd be happy if somebody shared any of my UFO clips. I'd be all about it. But some people like the privacy.
All right, well, let's do it then. Let's do it. Let's see what happens here. So this one, I'm just going to go ahead and post it up here. This one is coming from, it says multiple UFOs, and let's go ahead and actually read the total information. It says credits, is that Gene Michael Tanek? He gives us YouTube, and we're definitely going to give credit to his YouTube channel out there. But it says all footage is posted after obtaining direct permission from the original owner or its public. Okay, that's not good. Right. We are going to show it here live. In fact, straight rebels. But check this one out. Absolutely. Now, is this your first time seeing this, you guys? This one here? I don't know, but I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's casting over the moon. It says filmed from Canada, March 26, 2020. It says source. Yeah, well, it would have to be from a telescope hooked up to some kind of camera here. I mean, it. Oh yeah, I can get pretty close with my telescope that I have here, and Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mike. Well, I can tell you, this is actually normal when you're looking at the moon from a telescope here. So if you don't see kind of like an atmospheric like glare kind of over the telescope or the lens, that's kind of your hint right there that it could be potentially fake. Because when you're peering out into space and you're magnifying as close as you can. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So this, just looking at this and looking at the footage that I've taken with my telescope, this appears to be authentic to me. I mean, for it to be that close, and for you, and it looked like they did this in the daytime too. because most people are not looking at the moon in the daytime. So that's probably a good time to look at it, because that's where most of the activity is probably happening. Because people like me, I stay up until like 2 o'clock in the morning sometime looking over at the moon so I can see if I can find anything. Yeah, let's run that. Yeah, on top of that, it does look like more of like an oval egg shape type deal going on here.
Chat, you know,
running into some other stuff here.
this is an R6. We're gonna make it. I'll make
Is
it.
anyone else responding to the shots fired?
Happy Camp?
Right.
Yeah.
But let's go back to that. So, just I don't know, man. I mean, from I've taken video like this before. It makes me want to get out and do a little bit more so I can show you. And then also the clouds passing too. That's another indication. Mm-hmm. And then you have to remember too, Mike, the sun, it looks like the sun is facing more of like east. So it's facing, they're going in the opposite direction of the sun. So it's on the shadow is only going to show while they're in the sunlight. And then as they go over into the darkness, you're not going to get a shadow anymore because the sun isn't in that same direction. What do you think? Maybe satellites too? I mean, potentially. Right. Right. I want to actually turn over, while we're looking for another piece of footage, to the live streaming. So let's go ahead and turn it over. Now what you're looking at right now is a live view. This is from the backyard here, and we have a monochrome camera just kind of staring at the sky, looking at what we can see. And we usually we've set this up in the past before, and we've seen some very, very interesting things. Mike and Randy can contest to that and tell you, yeah, just weird stuff too that we've seen here. And I don't know, you can't know for sure, but it's nice to have this ability to look at these things, because again, this is not something that you would be able to look up in the sky and just see and point out and say, this is these things are out there. It just doesn't happen like that. These things are too far up. There's too much atmospheric interference here. too many clouds, you're just not going to see this stuff here. So to have this type of equipment, to look over it here and see it is, I think personally, is awesome here. So well, I find it interesting too that I'm glad you mentioned that, because where was that triangle that Mike had? Where did he get that footage from? I mean, which state was it in though? Because weren't we talking about how there's a lot of UFOs coming out of Oregon, and there's an audio issue? Okay, all right, let me change this up here. So they can't hear you at all, you guys at all here? Can you? What about now? Is that working a little bit better? I'm gonna go check this out. See if this is working here. Yeah, that's really loud too. So let me actually go ahead and turn that audio down. Sorry about that, you guys. We're having a few technical difficulties, but we'll get this situated for you guys in just a second here. You know, better yet, we might be able to just turn it down altogether. I think I missed it here. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can't just turn that off altogether. I hope that's better. All right. All right, so let's check this out. Ah, okay, I got it. So hopefully you guys can hear us a little bit better now.
All right, let's do a quick sound check, Randy. What do you got?
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I'm chewing. I wasn't expecting this to get fixed this fast.
I'll check it on my other phone.
Anyway,
Okay, I can hear both of you guys on here.
good to go.
You can? Okay.
Yep. Okay. Okay, good. All right.
All
my
right.
bad.
So now we can actually get to the show.
Now,
I
yeah,
know
that was just a test.
A lot of stuff,
It's
but
just a test.
That was just a test, you guys. We were testing.
all right, yeah, I can
Anyway.
hear pretty good.
No, I was so bullshit. It messed up. Okay. So what we want to do is what we do here is we not only analyze footage, but we also want to go in and look at some of the footage that some people will say it's real, but just kind of looking at it, you can kind of disseminate that it's not. And I think Randy and Michael kind of know where I'm going on this one right now, because we reviewed this footage before. We had someone telling us that this was 100% real, and you can clearly see that it's 100% fake. But again, you guys let us know what you think, because I know where we stand as far as is this being real or fake. But you guys let us know what you think. What you think, and I can't even hold a straight face here just thinking about
I
this.
think I know
footage.
Which one is this? Wait. No, wait.
This is the alien being, I'm pretty sure.
On the nail.
You weren't supposed to spoil it.
So this one right here was one. This I promise you, this was given to me. This is not real, and this. Stop it! So, yeah, this was 100% said that it was real. This is just not real. It clearly looks like some kind of CGI, some kind of video editing working going on there. I know we use the term CGI loosely, but you know that's not real. It's just not. Is right. This is. Well, let's think about this, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, you guys. Now, what's not to say that there's a situation where, you know, aliens may not walk, they may not have the same mechanics as us. So just kind of, you know, thinking outside the box too. You know, I have to, you know, kind of look at that. But again, I still think it's pretty. Right. Right. Absolutely. I totally agree with you too, by the way, Randy. And I got to give a shout out to my friend Sirius, because it is. Okay, I'll turn my microphone down. I think I'm crowding it, so I'll turn my microphone down. Um, no, it's just a friend of the show says the alien would have zapped his way out of there, and I totally agree. I think if these things are able to travel from millions and billions of miles away, I definitely think they can see their way out of a room here. So. Right. Right. Absolutely. I want to actually show this one. I'm going to post this, give it its own screen here in just a second, as soon as I get this right here. But this is more up our alley here as far as realistic, in my opinion. And again, it could be fake, but again, I'm going to post this one up and let you guys tell me what you think about it. So here we go. Oh, wow. Did you see that, though, how it's disappearing? Whoa, that was weird. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this. Randy, what were you going to say? Because I think you were going to say what I was going to say.
Footage that's always really good that you can kind of like say, okay, it might be, you know what I mean? This could be real. This might not be a hoax, because like, you know, anything could be a hoax. Anything could not be a hoax. It's always through, whenever you see any good, real, like isn't cloudy, isn't having an aneurysm while you're recording it footage, it's always one of the triangle ones. But what I don't like about this video footage is that it's there, the camera dips, you come back, and then when you come back up, it's fading away, and you dip again a little bit, and then it's just gone.
Like a light reflection almost.
Not like a light reflection, but it's more of a make it easier to edit the footage, because you know what I mean? Like you've got motion, you've got different things happening. You're making it easier to distort it so you don't need as many like pixels, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Randy. I got to say something about this too, and I'm going to go back to the footage. Mine is a little bit different. When you look at this footage and then you see how it disappears, working with cameras and editing systems and stuff like that, it almost looks like they put the lights on top of the background, and they have a fader where you can fade it out. And I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by that when I say you can fade it out. So I'm going to show you a picture of our faces. This is a picture of our faces on here. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when I fade myself out. So I just faded myself out. You see that? So that's what it looks like to me. What happened. Now, that may not necessarily be real. It could potentially be real, is what I'm saying. But that, just the way it happened, that to me looked like it could be something fake. That just, yeah, that's some video. That's, to me, it's some video editing software. Unfortunately, this one looks good, but man, that's fading out too easy. I mean, I'm sorry, that one looks really good, but just
I've seen the triangle. It actually did just kind of disappear and fade out. It was a lot slower of a motion than that, though, and it definitely didn't blink right back on afterwards. And that's the part that's kind of weird. I could see it if it went out for a second and then maybe lit back up like a second or two later, but as fast as it happens, it seems very weird. And like you said, you don't see a lot of UFO clips with that. You see, normally it doesn't tend to fit that characteristic, but you really don't know. Sometimes what we may see on videos and what we've seen in person may not match up because it's something we really don't know about.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, another thing too is I'm sorry, I was just reading something caught me off guard here. Jesus Christ. I'm having a brain fart here. Too much weed California is in the air.
You want to cut into the feed a little bit and see if we see anything going around up there? Or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that on here. So, what I was going to say in regards to the three lights that you see in the sky are the three typical lights that, you know, people look at as a UFO is when you see those. A lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but you'll usually see one light blink off, come back on, another light will blink off, it'll come back on too. We didn't see anything like that this time. I think this was literally the first time I've seen it where all three lights fade out all at once and then they come back on. It's usually a situation, at least in my opinion, when I've reviewed footage, that it actually it blinks lights off one at a time, not all at once. So I don't know. What do you guys think? So what are we saying, like 50-50 on this one?
25-75 on the bad side.
I do not believe it was real. That triangle, I don't think it was. You know what I mean? I don't think there's. It just isn't convincing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's definitely a little. But see, sometimes one of these days we're gonna get the perfect UFO clip that is real, and that's everybody's gonna say, "Hey, no, this isn't real. This is too perfect. It can't be real." And that's the only part that makes me want to have some chance that it is real, because somebody eventually is going to get a perfectly good recorded UFO. There's plenty out there that are really good and pretty authenticated. So, but we'll find out.
Just to say, oh, this one's real, because when we find the good one that I want to be real, you know what I mean, to believe that all of them are real, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of, not to say it's asinine or kind of, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound disrespectful or anything, but like, you know, just to be like, I want this one to be real, and then believing all of them are real, you know what I mean? It's just like, how do you sort?
Oh yeah, no, you definitely can't believe all of them are real. But eventually there will be that perfect UFO clip, and a lot of people might overlook it because they're going to be like, oh, obviously there's plenty of clips online everybody sees that are just like horribly done, that just look all insane, big blue triangle and things like that are obviously not real or whatever. But, you know,
we don't want it to be like a
some
cult
good ones out there
situation where we're just reviewing footage and then it's not real, but we want it to be real. So I understand where you guys are coming from. We don't want it to be real for the sake of being real. We want real authentic footage. We want to be able to look at it with a skeptical mind, but also, you know, if it is what it is, then we have to look at it as an unidentified flying object.
Yep. Absolutely.
But moving along here, and I'm sure you guys have seen this one too. This one was interesting to me when I first saw it here. So I'm going to let it play. And it goes really fast, so just watch out for it. But you're going to know exactly what this is when I post it up. So here we go. You probably missed it if you weren't paying attention. So what do you guys think about that one?
Next, New York in crisis. Morbo?
Thanks, human female. Puny
make a circle like that, like the Sonic Boom is going to be a military jet, but in no way, shape, or form is a military jet about to fly at those speeds.
So we have a situation where there could be civilian casualties. So it's not going to be a situation where it could be U.S. or any other military for that matter flying so close to an airport. So that's out the equation. Do you guys remember the? Do you guys remember the B footage that the guy took and he showed the Tic Tac crossing over the sky? This was just recent, maybe like a year or two ago or something. Well, the reason I say that because I think that's the first time that we actually got a glimpse of that Tic Tac in that video. It it's on that one too, but so that's the Nimitz one, you guys. But no, there's another one where it's another one where this it looks like a Tic Tac and it comes down on the side of a mountain and then it flies through this valley like so quick. And what they're doing is the guy filming, he has a drone in the sky and he's filming B footage for a movie, and he happens to see this thing fly across the freaking valley like in 2 point seconds. It was just so fast. And they're oh okay, I gotta look this up. Yeah, and that's another thing too. When they admitted it, that was something that blew my mind away too. Right. Yeah, I don't. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't think that. Uh, Man, I don't know if I'd be ready for that. Now, from my understanding, like when you see these USOs, I'm sorry, they actually call them fast movers underwater because they're moving at like 50, 60 knots, an hour or whatever. Or not an hour, but at 50, 60 knots. Like they're just moving at ridiculous speeds underwater. Like there's nothing that we have that, yeah, submarines and whatever we have that can go underwater, it doesn't move that fast. So they're just, they track them and they send them to whoever. But and I can't find it, you guys. I wish it was this guy. And I wish if anybody out there that's watching this knows what I'm talking about. It was it was B footage. He just happened to be taking B footage here of a movie scene, and this thing literally flies across the screen. Let me see if I can find it. Tic Tac. I gotta look for this here. Yeah, and now I'm looking, I just don't see it here. I can't find the one I'm looking for. And it's just I wish I could find it. It's really interesting, you guys, and I gotta find this. Yeah, for sure. That would be something that I might have to record because you constantly have to stay focused on the moon with the remote. So if I did do that, somebody else would have to kind of like narrate.
Well, I don't know if I got the people skills for that. I'm just sometimes.
Okay.
I am back, y'all.
Awesome. So I'm still looking for this thing. I'm like dead set determined to find this because it was a really big thing like maybe a year or two ago. Like everyone was talking about this footage and they were just saying, you know, this is the most clearest, the best footage we've ever had. And I think even Joe Rogan had spoke on it here, and everyone was really critiquing this and trying to figure out if it was fake or if it was real, and no one could.
You're just gonna pull up that video of the field where it's the car driving through the field and then it pans over and that zombie face jumps out. It's like,
Oh.
you're just gonna put that up to make me shit my pants. You don't remember that? That was hysterical. It wasn't hysterical, but it was like back when I was in like, I don't know, 5th grade, 6th grade.
Seconds. I'm still.
I've seen so many. My favorite UFO clip right now is probably the one over the Outer Banks in the ocean in North Carolina.
Is that the one that looks like that people are pulling the phone? Yeah, there's just all these yellow balls of light just sitting over the ocean, and it is just the strangest thing.
I don't see it, you guys, which makes me wonder. This is really interesting that I can't find this particular piece of footage because this was all over the place here a year or two back. This should be as easy to find as the Nimitz report. I mean, it.
Let me do my own googly googly over because of the Ruru. I've got there's some really good clips I sent you on Messenger of that North Carolina one. I believe it's the original video of YouTube.
I'll definitely take a look at that one here. Let me bring it up. There were actually some on here too. I was just kind of looking at. Now again, some of these are just really ridiculous.
Circle of Lights over Walmart in Missouri is another really good clip too.
So let's check this one out because this is actually not the Nimitz report, but it's very similar. Actually, it may even be coming from. Let me post this one up again here. Let me go back real quick.
I just saw the UFOs over UFO. Yeah, that guy's really cool. That guy's
All right, so let's check this one. This one is interesting too here. So, see if I can get this from the beginning.
¿Va para abajo o va para arriba o qué? Vea todo el mundo viéndolo. Ay, ¿qué es eso? Y da vuelta y todo.
Yeah. Hit it.
Turns, but yet it has no propellers and seems to be pretty silent.
Not only that, I think if this was some kind of ball or some kind of balloon that was in the sky, I think the people that were standing outside of their cars would be able to see it in an instant and know that it was something that, know that it wasn't like a balloon flying in the sky. People know what a balloon flying in the
They're
sky
not going to
looks
stop
like.
and stare for me when you see something that definitely was not a balloon.
Right.
Yeah, no, there's no way. And it moved way too propelled to be a balloon. It seems like a lot of UFO sightings are like they move either too slow to be something or too fast to be something, but it's a good way to tell if you're looking at something suspicious because it's not going to be moving like something you've seen before.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that one? What do you say?
I say real all the way.
UFO, definitely.
Yeah, definitely for me too. And by the way, you guys who's watching this, we're not saying that it's an alien aircraft. We're just saying that this is something that is unidentified, and we're leaning more towards the abnormal than your normal helicopter, or your normal plane, or your normal Chinese lanterns, or your normal hell you want to call it.
But to be on record, I do believe it very well. Some of them could be some type of alien life.
Yeah,
Mike believes they are all aliens.
That is not true. That is not true. Do not
Mike,
quote Randy on that.
There's a video you put up one time, and I love it. And it was one of my favorite things you ever did. You were shooting the sky at night, and you're like, you see this out here. This is a plane, something else, and like this is a drone. This is not a UFO. And like it was something.
This is actually something really cool. The power company here in Springfield, Oregon, actually uses drones with, like, I want to say it's thermal cameras to check transformers.
Oh wow. What? No, I didn't see it. What happened? No, I missed it. No, that's good. I'm glad you were watching it. It almost makes me want to go ahead and move the camera back there. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me see if I can get a better image, better angle. Hang on, you guys. Yeah, I'm back, you guys, and I don't know what's going on there because I'm actually. That's interesting because I'm on right now. Well, let me go back really quick here. Yeah, I can hear you just fine here. Interesting. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna check this. Oh wow, that's creepy. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of being closer to the so So I did. So something just off track here. I was looking on Facebook, and I happened to come across this one, and I was just looking at this like, what the hell is this? So maybe you guys know what this is. Hold on, I'm gonna. What's that? So I'm gonna just play this here, but this right here, does anyone know what that is? Yeah, I can hear you. So check this out.
So one thing like that. I like Fred. So one thing like that.
Okay. Okay, I was just wondering because I was looking at that. I've never saw that before. Yeah, I remember, bloodworms too, and if they are like in a real combined together, they kind of look like that, but that looked like it was more of like just one organism. It looked freaking weird. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of reminded me. Now, I wanted to ask another question, and that was, did anybody ever find out what this was? Did anybody ever get any clarification on what this was?
Oh, what is it? Carrie, what is that? What is that? Carrie, what is that?
No idea.
Holy crap!
Don't move me. Don't move me.
Ladies and gentlemen, compliance with European security requirements for hand carry liquid. Bear in mind our attracting customers and colleagues supply.
Oh, what is it? Carrie, what is that? What is that? Carrie, what is that?
No idea.
Holy crap!
Don't move me. Don't move me.
Ladies and gentlemen, compliance with European security requirements for hand carry liquid. Bear in mind our attracting customers and colleagues supply.
Oh, what is it? Carrie, what is that? What is that?
Okay, I think that's what it is. It's probably when the clip plays that they can't hear us because actually. Gotcha. So what I can do is I'll actually just turn that audio down when we get there. Hang on. So let's see. I'll just turn the audio for the thing down altogether so they can hear us. I haven't gotten too much action on the night, on the night vision camera. The moon is pretty bright tonight too, so. No. No. Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that. I actually do that too. But I think I got caught one time doing it. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to post it, then I'll make sure I read into it and see what's going on. No worries. So, you guys, while we're actually watching the sky, let's talk about, these theories about this whole coronavirus and things like that, because, you know, we were kind of talking a little bit about, all the conspiracy theories of people thinking that it has to do something with 5G. And I don't know who has their sound on, but I'm kind of getting an echo in the background too. Okay. I know you guys have heard that 5G is causing the coronavirus and things like that. No, I don't believe that either. Um, right. Now, you guys try not to laugh too much because I'm gonna mention somebody here. Now, you guys know I've talked to Terry about this in reference to it here, and he came to me and he was telling me how the coronavirus is actually being caused by 5G. So I thought it was bullshit, and I looked it up, and it was bullshit. But also, but there's some truth to it. Like there's truth in everything, right? There's always some truth in everything, that we hear. And what I found out, especially being in the military, is that we did use weapons like this. It was 5G, but it was like an enhanced, it was a stronger signal. And we would put these on the back of Humvees or on the back of like 18-wheelers, and it would be like a signal that would go out, and it would just literally make people defecate on themselves. It would cause like stressful fractures in the ears, things like it was some weird, rough shit. And we would use this in the military, when we wanted somebody to come out their house or make people, just surrender. So that's real. And also, I think what people are trying to say when they say 5G is causing the coronavirus. No, you idiot. 5G is not causing the coronavirus. It's, if anything, and I don't believe this either, but if it's doing anything, 5G I'm talking about, it's enhancing it. Because you have to remember that if we're talking about the coronavirus and how it affects the lungs and how it affects your system, your body, your functions and everything like that, the 5G signal, if it is causing an issue, it's only going to make those conditions much worse. So if you want to, so if you want to say that 5G has anything to do with the coronavirus, then say it that way. Don't come out and say that 5G is the coronavirus, because then you make it just, people look at you like you're freaking crazy. And so make sure that you're clear with your words and that you're saying what you mean and you mean what you say, because when you don't, people just I don't know what to say. They kind of they tune you out at a certain point. So make sure you're making somewhat of sense when you're saying stuff like that, because there are really legitimate like doctors out there and professionals that work in that field, like that have worked on 5G from the very beginning, saying that it's hurting us and it's causing issues and that it's enhancing the coronavirus symptoms and things like that. And when you have professionals of their caliber talking about it, it brings some truth to it. But when you have people that don't do the research and don't, understand what's truly going on, it just discredits everything that the doctors and the people in that field are really trying to say. But get off my soapbox. Yeah. I mean, look, man. I mean, if we're being honest here, I have a 5G in my backyard, and I fought like hell to get that, make sure that that thing didn't get put in my backyard. But I don't have a say so in it. And I can tell you this, all bullshit aside, when they put that thing in my backyard, I absolutely did notice a difference. It wasn't a fucking placebo thing. Those things are harmful. If your body is not normal to that type of radiation, to those type of signals, within your home or within your area here, you're definitely going to feel the difference. It's the same as anything. It's like if you have a person that's never drunk anything before, any type of alcohol, and then you give them a little bit of wine, they fucking feel like they drunk 40 beers, So it's definitely real, and we really need to pay attention to it, because especially those people that have preconditions, and just like the coronavirus, especially people who have preconditions and they're already having issues with their body and things and whatnot. Those are the people that we really need to pay attention to, not only with this 5G, but with the coronavirus too. And I think it's just it's a perfect storm of these two things coming together and just making it worse for everyone. And people really don't care that are in power. They don't give a damn. Like you said, Randy, they're making their own money, so they can care less about what it does to us. So it's just... Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty sad to think that there are people out there that really think like this here, but you know, you have to understand that everybody is not in the mindset like you are, and people just don't give a shit. They're trying to make their money, they're trying to gain their fortune, they're gonna leave money for the people after them that they care about, and they're like, yep, we'll let them figure it out, you know, when it's their time. Who gives a shit? We're not going to be around.
Another good point. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say another good point about what you were saying about the 5G possibly making a pre-existing condition already worse. What if it could have something to do with these germs mutating and becoming human-born rather than what they are? Because they say it already has 8 mutations and all this stuff. What if those waves are actually making the viruses mutate, and that's how they're becoming human-born and spread like that?
That's a possibility too. I mean, I was just speaking with my girlfriend here today, and they were talking about how the coronavirus is actually giving different symptoms now. So it's not just the same coughing symptoms. It's not just the fatigue or the fever. You know, there's other symptoms now, and that could be a form of the mutation. And, you know, scientists do actually play God pretty much with different germs and stuff like that. And one form that they use are radio waves and radiation to change the structure of different molecules and stuff like that. So that's definitely possible. I don't know how it would play into this, but I know it's been used as a catalyst to make change to different molecules and proteins and whatnot. So absolutely, that's a good point, by the way, too, Mike. I never even.
Thank you. Hey, real quick, I just want to let you guys know, I think I figured out our audio problem. It comes up super clear and great when we're on this page, when it's actually doing the video call, versus when we're showing something else, like this live Sky feed. It puts us in like the background noise, like we're on like a phone call.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it's coming in perfect now. As soon as we went to this page with the videos, it was coming in perfect.
Cheers.
Yeah, well, I just looked at it and I realized what's going on too. So I see exactly what's happening, and thank you.
At least for figuring it out for future videos, you know what I mean? Like
for sure.
Yeah, I see exactly what's going on. By the way, Mike, what's happening here is
someone messaged me and they said that already, and now they're mad at me because I'm not reading their messages while we're live streaming. They're mad at me because I'm over here trying to help us review this.
At least you're giving them a shout out.
I am. Shout out to my shout out to Jackie. Shout out Jackie.
It's over for you.
It is.
But yeah, no, it just clicked to me because I had the video on my other phone and I've been listening to it, and you can hear us when we were on the other videos, but it just sounded like it was on a phone call almost. It was really strange. But I realized as soon as it went back to the video call screen, that's when the sound went perfect and right back up to where you can hear all of us really good.
Hey, by the way, you guys, not Randy, not you, Randy, and not you, Michael. But by the way, you guys out there that's listening here, we're regular guys. We're out here, we're shooting the shit, we're enjoying ourselves. We are ufologists and UFO panelists, just like everyone out there. So, you know, shut the fuck up. If you
enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. If you don't like it, you can turn it off. You know.
For sure.
We're not holding a gun to your head to say, watch this motherfucker. That's not what we're doing.
But you should.
You should.
You should. There's some evidence.
And drop in your links and your evidence and your theories about stuff. And we'll check the comments. And if we see, a good theory that somebody spits out, we'd love to talk about it. So if you guys got any fun topics or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comments and we'll give you our honest opinions about them.
Absolutely. We love fresh evidence. You always got to have some fresh evidence.
Because we are looking as we go. And unfortunately, we're talking and we'll get into, a debate or a conversation heavily. And, I'm guilty of it, not looking through the comments here too. And we need to do that.
I've been checking them out. Sirius C has been on our chat the whole time. They've been commenting left and right.
Where's Phil? Phil's always
But Sirius C is hanging in there, and they're definitely giving some good input and keeping up with the conversation.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate Sirius C. That's one of my peoples here. And
Sweet.
She's always sending UFO information, stuff about the government and things like that. So big shout out to Sirius C. She's definitely
Somebody better at your girlfriend to come get you before. No, I'm just...
Now,
but yeah, no, that's good stuff. Yeah, I love getting stuff from other people and them bringing up topics and stuff like that. It makes a good conversation piece and stuff. And it's fun to break down those ideas. A lot of people that send me stuff online, it makes my day because I find some of the greatest stuff on there and stuff. And I try to share some stuff with you guys. Recently, it's been a lot of memes with all the craziness, but I remember I have sent quite a few really good clips and stuff like that like I find like almost undeniable that are great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, like, for whatever reason, you saying us sharing memes through all this craziness reminded me of a thing that I said on the video that we took down because it had nothing to do with anything. But Rodney asked the question. He was asking the question to everybody, like, when the coronavirus came out, were you worried? Were you not worried? What was your interpretation of it? And then when it finally asked me, the thing I said is that, you know, the people who aren't worried, you know what I mean, who kind of feel like this is okay in this whole chaotic situation, grew up in a more, you know what I mean, unstable, you know, dysfunctional household, because right now, while the world's at war,
what you talking about, Willis?
You know, like, the people who are panicking, the people who are worried right now while the world's going crazy are the people who kind of, you know what I mean, they had it more sheltered, more okay growing up. Not sheltered, I don't want to say, but like didn't grow up in as a dysfunctional of a household, but the people who, you know what I mean.
Well, it's just being used to chaos.
Being used to chaos, exactly. And like you saying, oh, we're laughing about it, like really just goes to show how much of, like, you know, the millennials and then like the Gen Z cunts, those young assholes, you know what I mean?
Well,
and,
I
like,
will say, if aliens ever come down, I will not be laughing about it. I will be digging a hole and hiding.
Why would you be hiding? Why would you not be like?
I don't think I'd be freaking out, man, because
I wouldn't be hiding.
I already knew they were real, you know. So.
I believe they're real, but when they come, they're coming for a good reason. They're not. Don't get me wrong. If it's like a world peace situation type deal, like in a movie or something, yeah, I'm all about it. But I don't see them coming down and humans reacting as if it's going to be a peaceful ordeal. It's already proven that the military's tried to shoot them down and things like that. So I don't feel like our military is going to let the whole. Oh, it's just like the way they do on Arrival, where they let the spaceships sit for days and days to try to investigate them. I just don't see that happening. I see one of our countries of the world attempting to take fire at something, or you know,
North Korea.
So yeah, so that's my only reason. So I imagine, and if that happens, then I imagine they're going to want war with us, and that probably wouldn't turn out too great for us, considering they're a lot more advanced than we are, if they're flying spaceships down to, you know, check us out and stuff like that.
We have human spirit.
Yeah, that only goes so far when you got laser guns coming at you, or telepathy, and them telling you to do God knows what to yourself or anything. There's a lot of cases of people saying telepathy or telepathy as something that aliens would use to communicate when they're in abduction cases and things like that. That's one of the big things they say. They didn't hear anything, but they heard the aliens talking to them in their head. And obviously I've never been abducted, so I can't speak for firsthand, but I can say a lot of the really good cases of abductions that were semi-believable, that's something they had kind of mentioned.
Speaking of abductions, that reminds me, do you remember Ancient Aliens? I'm going to reference this. We all love Ancient Aliens. But the episode where and that they had a surgery done on them, and they went to a doctor and they got an x-ray and they found that there was a piece of meteorite embedded in these people, and it was more than one. It was a multiple of people.
There's a special doctor that specifically removes alien implants or foreign objects that came from a UFO encounter and stuff like that. He's a surgeon.
There's these alien objects, these foreign objects in people's bodies from people saying they were abducted. and they have a doctor specialist that's like, you know what I mean, that can take them out of you, and people still want to argue, oh no, we're the only life form, we're it.
Yeah, on that episode, I believe they actually they tested the actual thing that was found in the person's leg, and it came back as the same composite of what a meteorite would come back.
Exactly.
And the only way that would happen, you would have to be almost like fused through something in space. Or just something. It just really doesn't make sense of how it would end up in you as a foreign object like that.
Exactly.
So
Sirius C just popped up and she said
that is just completely weird.
What'd she say?
Sirius C just popped up and she said, "I need to find this guy. I need a meteorite in my rock collection." And,
that'd be probably the coolest meteorite you could ever have.
Right, the one that was inside somebody.
Did you guys hear about that? It was an older lady, and she was gifted a moon rock, or a piece of a moon rock, and you guys know what I'm talking about? You guys remember?
I don't know.
Maybe continue.
But she was gifted a moon rock. I want to say it was from an astronaut or whatever, and I believe she tried to give it back to NASA, but they didn't believe that it was real, so they left it alone, and she ended up trying to sell it, and some guy was going to give her a really good hunk of money for this moon rock or whatever, and she ended up meeting the guy at Denny's, and FBI swarmed around her. This lady, by the way, is like 88 years old or something like that. So
I do know this story. It turned out to be.
I still don't. Continue. Somebody finish the story.
Yeah, literally, they swarm her, take her moon rock, didn't give her any of the money because it was just like a bust, like she was selling some drugs or whatever. So she's out of the money, out of this moon rock that was gifted it to her, and now NASA is saying that it was never hers to begin with because the person didn't have the right to give it to her in the first.
But she tried to give it back to NASA.
Yeah, like it came from a space mission.
Yeah.
But she tried to give it back to NASA.
She originally tried to give it back, and they didn't believe that she really had it.
Yeah, but she tried to give it back. I hate the United States government. I hate the United States government. I'm sorry if that's blasphemy or if it's treason. The United States government is so fucking stupid.
So listen to this. Here in Eugene, Oregon, at the college U of O, they actually have a sculpture and a piece of the Willamette meteorite, which happens to be the biggest North American meteorite to ever strike in North America. And the sculpture of it, I guess what's the word for, it's basically it's a replica of it. And I don't know where, I guess the other one's in a state museum or something like that. But just the size of it is only probably a 2 smart cars, like 2 fit cars, those little small cars. Mm-hmm. That's probably about the size of it. But apparently it left a crater insanely large, and that's how obviously it was found or whatever. But it's wild to think something so small could make such a big hole in the earth. Yeah. But it's the biggest North American meteorite. It's called the Willamette meteorite.
Yeah. We also got to think about the speed, impact, velocity, what it's made out of. There's a whole lot of factors that go into it.
True. There's a lot of different meteors with different elements and stuff like that. And they say that's also why some of them burn different colors. You have green meteorites, blue meteorites, like blue-white. Then you have a red or oranger meteorite. And it's all depending on if they're made of iron, calcium, and all these other elements.
I want a pink meteor. I'm sorry, Rodney. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Did we ever mention, because I know we were talking about it privately, but we ever talk about online that meteorite that was made of pure gold or whatever?
Yes, that was in the last stream that you took down. We did 5 hours of recording in 48 hours.
Randy is so sad.
You really heard about that one, Randy.
He will not let it go.
He will not.
People really quick.
He said it on Messenger and he's like, I want you guys to know I'm mad about it.
5 hours of recording in 2 days, and all of it got taken down.
Well, we got a good one going here, so that's a good thing.
Got a good one. Knock on wood right now.
We will not take this one down.
We have stayed on topic for the most part. The entire
the other one was real out there because it was out there. I'll just say that. It was out there.
Oh, yeah. No, we were having too much fun. Yeah. Too much quarantine.
Yeah, too much quarantine talk. And for everybody out there, by the way, I'm glad you mentioned that too, Mike. For everybody that's out there, staying in their homes, being quarantined, and just fucking listening to us. God, I mean, I was and I'm just like everybody else. I'll go on YouTube, I'll go on Facebook, and I'll look at some of the memes on there. There's one meme that one of my friends sent me, and he goes, I hope everyone is enjoying their 30-day free trial of communism.
I love it.
That is pretty funny.
And it's true. I mean, that's exactly what we're getting. We're getting, you know, and unfortunately, I would love to say it's free, but it's not. We're going to end up paying this bill in a little bit here.
What are you talking about? This $1,200 coming from Congress?
No, I'm talking about it's going to end up biting us in the ass somehow. I think eventually what's going to end up happening here is I don't think it's going to go back the same.
Oh, the world's most likely never going to go to the way we remember it. I remember you saying that in the last video. When it never does go back, we're going to have there.
Yeah.
That really did make me think.
Yeah, no, that's a scary thought because it's already, from just a couple of weeks, look at the damage it's already done with unemployment, our economy, people getting sick, our healthcare system. It's going to take a while to get back where people are going to be comfortable to leave their house and go outside again, because it's not like this virus is just going to disappear. No. We need some sort of vaccine or something like that, or some kind of super effective treatment that will help get rid of it. Otherwise, it's just going to be like flu season every year, but it's going to be coronavirus season, and it's going to be a lot worse.
Fucking deadly. I mean, it's going to be like this all the time. Now, the good news is that more people are actually recovering from this than there are people dying. And I don't want to take away from the people that are dying, but the people that are surviving this, they're automatically creating these coronavirus, what do you want to
antibodies.
Antibodies.
Mm-hmm. And so the solution to save yourself from the coronavirus is to get the coronavirus.
Right.
Well, to get somebody's blood or plasma that has had the coronavirus, because those cells know how to attack it. Right. So basically, it's almost like a blood transfusion.
So I gotta find somebody that's A negative and take their blood. Now that everybody knows my blood type.
I believe it's plasma is what they're using.
Yeah, you have to find somebody who has blood that's already fought off the coronavirus.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you do that,
and that is my blood type, and that is willing.
Right.
Randy's asking for Can I get your blood donations to this address, please?
Can y'all just go like it's 2009? Put on some Paramore, slit your. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah, but basically, you have to do all that bullshit, and it's funny.
Sirius C says it's off the grid for her.
What's off the grid?
She's going off the grid, I guess.
Going off the grid with the virus.
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
And Sirius C, she's on it. I mean, man, she's actually she was the first one that mentioned to me, you know, hey, I'm gonna start doing my own garden, and you know, this was like 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. She was like, I'm gonna start doing my own garden, and I see pictures of her posting up like her garden with tomatoes and shit like that. And I'm like, damn, you know, this girl is really doing it here.
Self-sufficient. That's the smartest thing you could have for whenever things go down the drain, if they do go down the drain, because that's how she'll survive.
Yeah, she'll be just fine. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I want to say she's an advocate of gun rights and gun ownership. I almost want to say she is, but I could be wrong. But
hey, used for hunting and protecting.
Really quick, here's my point on gun control, and I feel like it's the best point anybody will ever make. Okay, if every man, woman, and child on the planet was forced and had to carry a loaded firearm on them 24/7, you were never allowed to not have this gun within hand's reach. There would be no more rape, and there would be no more murder.
Right.
If everybody you knew around you was packing heat, and you're the one person that wanted to be a dickhead and do something stupid. Like, you hear the story of the guy that tried to rob the gas station and every single person in the gas station shot him. That's the world I want to live in. Why can't you know what I mean? Like I don't think that you should restrict guns. The people that you're restricting the guns from are they're going to be the good guys. I think everybody needs to be issued a gun. I think that I'm sorry, this is my tangent, and this has nothing to do with UFOs. But if every man, woman, and child was maybe not children, forced to have a firearm on them, I feel like there would be no more rape. I feel like that would be completely almost non-existent. Murder would be at an all-time low. Robberies would be at an all-time low. You know what I mean? If you walked in a room, every single person in that room had a fucking barrel on you.
Yeah. And seriously, just posted something. She said, an armed society is a polite society, and I'm
a great saying.
To it. When have you ever went to the gun in the shooting range and actually encountered a dick or an asshole?
Not too much.
Not too many times. No, I don't think I ever have. Other than that one dude who's like talking, who's all like, "Oh, my gun's better than your gun because I spent $2,000 more in my gun and it shoots bigger bullets than yours does, and I need another permit."
Well, listen, to put this back on subject a little bit of UFOs, I would prefer everybody to have guns for, God forbid, if there was ever some sort of invasion. You know, better to be prepared than not. And it's rather than being cheap, if you have a gun, you have the power to defend yourself. And as a whole, if the entire country defends themselves, that's, you know, just to say, if we were to go to war and somebody came to our soil rather than us fighting all the wars on their soil,
the U.S. is so overdue.
It would be, you would have to kill every single American, and that just wouldn't happen because every American, well, like 1 in or 2 and 3 or something are armed, something like, it's some ridiculously high number.
There's the guns in America outweigh the number of people in America. For every person, I want to say there's 2 guns out there, from my understanding.
Yeah. And we can defend ourselves with them.
And I totally believe that because I have like 5 of them. So.
Right?
I had a Glock 17, I had an AK-47, I had a 30-30, and then I had a Remington. You know what I mean? A Remington 12 gauge. I had the 12 gauge for in the house. You know what I mean?
Real quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the 12 gauge was just for in the house. I had the 30-30 for in case I ever wanted to go hunting or anything like that. AK-47 was because who the fuck doesn't want an AK-47? Let's be real. And then I had the Glock 17 for just like when I was going around town. You know what I mean? Like I had one for every occasion.
See, I'm jealous of you, Randy, because we can't have AK-47s in California.
Oh, it's a beautiful. It was, man, it was the best gun I've ever owned.
Sirius just asked us were you about to say it?
The 30-30?
No, I was going to say Sirius just commented and was asking us about Betelgeuse, the star that's supposed to go supernova in Orion's belt.
What? No.
Yeah, Betelgeuse is supposedly going to explode really soon. And they, at first, a couple weeks ago, they were saying something about it could be within weeks that it explodes. But now I guess it's saying that it might be a little bit longer. But basically, it's one of the stars in Orion's belt, and it's about to go supernova. And I'm sure if you put your telescope on it, you could probably see the difference in it versus a regular star. But apparently, it's at the end of its life, and it's supposed to explode.
How do you spell it?
We would be able to see it I'm not sure how you spell it actually, Beetle and then Geist, like Guistet or something. But basically,
I'll look that up and see if I can catch it.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely a real thing. And also, you'll be able to see it. Apparently, it hasn't happened since the 18th century that a star that close has went supernova. And apparently, you would be able to see it for almost a week. And you would be able to see it in the daytime and the nighttime, and it would be almost the size of the moon.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, it's an event that hasn't happened in our skies since the 18th century.
Are you? What the fuck?
I'm dead serious. You can look it up. You can Google it. It's all over. NASA's talked about it. A lot of places have talked about it.
Now, another thing, I'm kind of glad you mentioned that too, because we were kind of, I think we were talking about this on the last show that I deleted, as Randy has let me know several times.
I'm happy about.
But, we were talking about the Baltic Sea anomaly, but we were also speaking in reference to all the fucking pictures in the 18th and 17th century that people were taking of these things that were in the sky. And what makes it so interesting about that time is there shouldn't have been anything in the sky at that particular
Nothing should have been in this. Oh my god.
So they were taking all these pictures, these Renaissance pictures of all these things that were in the sky. And then it turns out that a lot of these Renaissance pictures were actually coming from like areas within the Baltic, like close by the Baltic Sea. And then, you know, they did this really beautiful picture of just these different colorful lights in the sky. And they said it was like a war that they had in the sky. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen
I've seen the picture on Ancient Aliens a few times.
Well, that's within the vicinity of the Baltic Sea. And then now we have the Baltic Sea anomaly with this fucking thing underground or under the water looking like a Millennial Falcon. You know?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a strange one. That's a really strange one.
What a coincidence, though, that we have this stuff coming from the 17th and 18th century of these Renaissance pictures of UFOs. And then the coincidence is that it's right by the Baltic Sea where we happen to have evidence, potential evidence of a fucking UFO falling in the ocean.
Spacecraft out there in the middle of the ocean, yeah. Well,
yeah, there's a lot of really good references to UFOs and things like that in the past, which is what gives so much credit to the ancient alien theory, that a lot of stuff that's talked about is actually, you know, possible alien things and stuff like that from that, like the book Chariots of the Gods. Right. That's literally all that book is about, is taking a whole bunch of old stuff, like old, I guess, I don't know if you would call them stories or other things like that, things about the gods, myths and stuff like that, and basically putting a twist on it, saying this could be aliens, and if it was aliens, this is why all this would make sense. And it still ties in today to all of our UFO sightings and things like that. It's just completely unexplainable, and to them it was even more explainable because they didn't have drones, planes, Chinese lanterns, and things like that. So when they seen something in the sky, they were really, really seeing something in the sky.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was no, you know, misjudging it. There was something going on out there. You know, it was very clear. And I'm gonna.
Have you seen the? I was gonna say, have you seen the painting of the of the Virgin Mary, or it's someone in some biblical time? I'm pretty sure it's the Virgin Mary, but like up in like one of the two corners, you can see a painting of a UFO, and it's like you can
with
see
the light coming out.
Yes.
Yep, I've seen that. That's a really, really famous one.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. That one is pretty spot on there too.
And it doesn't get more UFO-y than that. I mean, that's about as clear as day a flying saucer as you could get.
Yeah, and I don't know how people. I maybe it's just that they're not in it as much as we are, and seeing this stuff and seeing these putting the dots together.
Yeah.
You know, but when you look at stuff like that, it's clear as day, in my opinion. I don't know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking up this art picture here so I can show you guys put a picture to the information that we're actually talking about here.
Sirius asks if there is a painting of George Washington with a UFO in it. Do you know if there is one of that?
I don't know about that.
I feel like I might have heard that before, but I don't remember seeing it.
I'm gonna go Googling George Washington
with a UFO in it.
Yeah,
it definitely could be possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, so so Randy, I believe you are talking.
Okay, so there's a really quick George Washington. There's a picture of George Washington. I have it here. It's when he's standing in front of like the Masonic temple, and you've got the Masonic G above his head. Then you have some other things going. I guess could be UFOs, but I'm not certain. But go ahead, Rodney. What were you saying?
So no, I was just gonna say, Randy, I think you're talking about this picture right here.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. I know the one Mike was referring to too, but that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
I have seen that one too. And that looks pretty. I mean, what else would be in the sky at that time? Nothing. They would have to throw something in the air.
And then I'm going to save this image of the George Washington. I'm going to send it to Rodney really quick, see if he can pull it up, and then see if that's what we're talking about. What are you having a connection over? My computer doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do.
But yeah, there's plenty of evidence of UFOs and historical accounts, and they just had so much less light pollution then too.
Absolutely.
That with all that no light pollution, you could probably see miles into the sky rather than the little bit of stars we can see now with our naked eye with all the light pollution. Back then, you could probably see. I could only imagine what you could see in the sky back then.
I wish I could go back then before light bulbs or anything like that was invented. I wish I could go back then, and just like stare at the night sky every night.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful.
I'm sending you that picture through the group right now. See if we can get it posted up and see if this is what she's talking about right here. Because I'm pretty sure this is what she's referring to. Let's send her off.
So I'll go ahead and look up that one, but I want to show you guys this one too. This is the one I was talking about with the UFO battle that's in the sky here.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of toys in the air almost. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah. Rods, Tic Tacs, jacks, all types of different shapes.
The black mothership right there. Now, which one of these do you think should be misconstrued? The one that's in the Baltic Sea to look almost like the Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean? Because there's a couple of plus-shaped objects. You know what I mean? Things like that. That it's like kind of, if you put the Millennium Falcon up there, you know what I mean? For there's somebody who had never seen one before. Like if you showed, I don't know, let's say like a hologram, back to somebody in the 1800s, they would have no idea what a hologram was. They would have no idea how to redepict that, So it's like this would be their this painting, this picture is obviously their depiction of what UFOs were. You know what I mean? Back then.
I was thinking the plus-shaped ones could have potentially been it. Also, the plus-shaped ones that have the circles at the ends of them too.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We lost Mike. I didn't realize he left.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where.
Yeah, he stepped away. And I just saw that picture that you put up or that you saved.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go in really quick, and I'm gonna see if I can.
So I'm not paying too much attention to the comments.
Bring this up here.
Sirius C is holding down the comment section for us.
He is. Sirius C's out here.
We need to get her on too. I'm pretty sure she would have some really good insight.
Absolutely. Get her and Terry on. Get them at each other's throats. It'll be a field day. I won't even say anything. I'll just.
You know what? And she knows Terry too. So.
Oh, does she? Oh no.
Oh yeah, she knows Terry. This is.
So I just want to say something. I think would be a really fun idea. I'm back, everybody. I think it would be fun to find somebody on one of these groups that is a complete non-believer. And see if we could not so much change their mind, but maybe open up their mind a little bit to some new ideas and find out what makes them 100% not believe any of these UFO sightings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I'm totally down with that. Yeah, I think that would be a good thing. So.
But Sirius C, is this what you were talking about, this picture? George Washington? Because I see like in the background on the above George Washington's right hand where he's holding the scroll, there's almost like a disc-shaped object. Maybe it could be a shooting.
That could definitely be a UFO.
You know what I mean? Like, you got some other shit over his left shoulder, but I'm not even worried about that. This straight white line, you know what I mean, over his right shoulder above the globe.
I'm going to try to make this bigger. Thank you guys for this. I never even knew this was here.
I didn't know it was until Sirius C something. I did a little googly, and
I knew I had heard about it, but I didn't remember if I actually seen it. So that's the only reason I wanted to bring it up. Because I definitely heard about it.
Most people are saying that it's the object over his left shoulder. Embedded in the pictures, there's a ladder up to the UFO, the left shoulder. That the white line over the right shoulder. In the moon, that is not the UFO in question.
Well, Sirius C just came on and she said there's another one with a ladder in the picture or something, she said.
Well, they're saying there's a ladder in this picture as well. I found it here. I'll send it to you also. Let's do this. It's going to be DH3. I'm sorry, I'm thinking out loud. And then let me do a little. That should be what she's referring to. I'm not 100% certain. This is the first I've seen of this or heard of this. Oh, I like how you got the picture in the live and then the sky feed up there also. That's nice.
Thank you. Oh wow. Okay. So you guys, you're talking about this one, right?
Yeah.
So it should come up here.
Yeah, I can barely hear you, Rod, just so you know.
Can you hear me any better now?
That's fantastic.
Okay. So I'll give it its own shot here.
And then I got one more coming at you also. It's a different, same picture, just enhanced a little bit different.
All right, let me try to give this
The audio on the live stream is coming in really good still, guys. Just a heads up. Even when you switch pages.
All right. Phil, it's Phil. Phil's back.
Hey, what's up, Phil?
What's up, Phil?
We're actually paying attention this time. Phil's probably like, oh my God, they saw me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Glad we got some more people tuning in. For all the new viewers, if you've got any fun evidence or any theories you'd want us to talk about or stuff you believe, feel free to drop in the comments and we'll try to answer your questions and tell you our thoughts about it.
Oh yeah, now let me actually put up this freaking Baltic Sea anomaly deal here because
it's a good one.
Oh, did you find the picture of the questions where I'm reading the live feed? What's your question?
I'm just waiting for it to come up here.
Sharon sending love and light from Liverpool. Love and light.
I think that's Karen.
Dyslexic. How are you gonna have the dyslexic guy reading the comments? That's what I don't understand. Why do I do the thing?
You
Why?
volunteered. You volunteered.
Listen, I'm a helper, helping along.
For sure. Well, doing the quarantine talks definitely, it's really fun because people can chime in and say their thoughts about stuff and everything like that. So it makes it interactive and really fun. I enjoy it.
Absolutely. Also, man, too, everybody's freaking going crazy right now, just having to stay inside and just, I know I am, man. I'm freaking out sometimes, like with this whole quarantine, and I don't want to say freaking out, but it just gets annoying.
Yeah.
Staying in the house so long. It's like, man, you want to get it. And I'm a homebody. I like staying at home, but this is too much for me.
I don't know. Just got a job again for the first time in forever after getting fired from one, getting a new job, then getting laid off. You know what I mean? And then today, I was supposed to go in and train today, and they just threw me right out on the road. And they're like, no, go start driving. And so I was actually to go out and make some money. You know what I mean? So it was nice. You know, got there and I was able to fill up my gas tank. You know what I mean? Get cigarettes, all that. Come home, have a nice dinner. You know, so. It's for the whole rest of the world going insane. You know what I mean? I try to find solace in like the little bit of time that you do get to spend out of the house, which, you know, isn't a lot. I shouldn't be spending any time out of the house, but I'm an essential / sacrificial employee now. So I can come and go.
Sacrificial is a really good way to describe it.
Yeah, that's how they call us essential because sacrificial, would be too honest, is the realest shit I've ever heard in my life.
So the picture that and I'll turn my mic up. The picture that we were just looking at here, with all the lights in the sky, is right by the Baltic Sea, where this thing that we're looking at here just happens to be in the ocean or the sea here. Just happens to be in that same area. What a coincidence, you guys.
No, that could be, if you remember that, if you refer to back to that picture, there were some bubble-shaped, not just the tic-tac and the cross-shaped objects, but the bubble-shaped one. Now, if this was like a downed craft, it could be one of those bubble-shaped objects. You know what I mean? That you saw the smaller objects that got caught, you know what I mean, in the crossfire and went down.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I've actually looked at this a bunch, and my thoughts on it are that it's actually a sculpture of something, or I don't know how to explain it, but like I don't believe that's actually the craft itself. If you can see the steps that walk up to it, it could be like a monument of something. It's weird that it's by itself and there's nothing other structures built around it, which is the really weird part. But by now they could have gotten some of the stone off of it or whatever material it is to see if it's actually metal or some sort of weird element or something like that.
Phil says that it's rock technology, that it's a working spaceship. It's like the same spaceships they use on the moon. I don't know if I agree with that. I'm sorry.
So you're not buying it, Mike. You said this might be.
No, he redacted the.
I don't believe it's a spaceship, like an actual functional craft. I do believe that it could be something maybe made by a craft that was slammed into it or something. But the steps part is the part that really throws me off. The steps that go up to the top, and that to me says it could be a part of some sort of. I don't know. It's weird because, like I said, there's not anything around it. So it doesn't say, hey, this is a community, this is our sculpture. So it's kind of random, and obviously it's at the bottom of the sea. Mm-hmm. So that's the weird part, but that's why I say it could have been made by a spaceship somehow or a UFO that was submerged there for a long time or possibly it's too neat to be crashed. But like I don't know. It's really strange. It's definitely one of the most probably in my head hardest things to explain because I really don't know. But just from everything I've thought about it, I don't believe that that's a functional craft.
Now, have you heard, and Mike, by the way, that when divers get close to this object under the sea with their equipment, it starts going all haywire and funky?
Now that I haven't heard.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you the link on this, but I think it was on the Discovery Channel where they actually went underwater and start running tests on it, and they were just saying that all their equipment was going haywire and they didn't know what was going on with it here.
Now that tends to happen with a lot of UFO hotspot places and stuff like that. They tend to have strange magnetic fields and things like that. Like Skinwalker Ranch has all those UFO sightings and all that weird activity and stuff. So that makes sense that if it is something to do with UFOs or something like that, that it would have something like that going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just that outer shell that throws me off, looking like stone. Unless it isn't stone, and it just looks like that to me, because I mean, it very well could be something else, and it just looks that way.
You never know.
To me, it looks like it's made out of stone, and that like the steps part that really, really looks like steps.
Yeah, it does to me too. I see what you're saying.
And that's the part that it looks hella man-made. Like nothing about it says this happened on accident. It's nature. Like absolutely nothing about it looks like nature. But it also doesn't. If it is something that we made out of stone, it's like it just fell out of the sky into the ocean, which is even kind of weirder to think about. Like why would that even happen?
Out of stone, it might.
That's the other part that throws me off. It's a really strange one. That's for sure. I can't say for sure what it is, but I just don't see that being. I don't see it being an actual spaceship that crashed. I don't know what else it could be, but I personally think it's definitely something well worth investigating into.
Okay, so I'm just reading from the comments here, and I'm going to read on what Philip is saying. He says, stop right there. It's definitely not man-made. So, Philip, if you can actually elaborate on that, what do you mean when you're saying it's not man-made here? And then Sirius C said, I can see the steps being steps to get inside the spaceship, maybe?
Like they retract open and who made it? Who made it? We're asking you. You seem to know.
Well, I didn't want to say that it was necessarily man-made. It could have something to do with UFOs, but I just don't understand why or what.
And to answer Sirius C's question, no one has been able to pull this out the sea. They were actually going to pull it out the sea at one point, but I think they got into some red tape with their government or something down there in that area, and they told them not to pull it up. But there was some kind of excavation going on where they made the attempt, and then they had to stop. So they have not pulled it up.
Philip's also saying that the pyramid energy transfer stations.
Yeah, I just saw that. I think Sirius C said, I don't know. And then Phil comes up and says red tape.
Red tape, man.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's bullshit. It's what it really is. It's just, covering up what we already know is real. And why do we wait for the government to confirm something that we already know? Why do we do that? Why do we do that as people, man? Like, we wait for the government to tell us something, and then when they give us bullshit, either people believe it or they get mad. I'm like, you see it, you know it's real, so why are you waiting for the government to confirm something when their whole job description says
will change until the government changes it and announces it? Nobody's gonna freak out about aliens until the government says, hey, aliens might come here, and then everybody's gonna have a problem with it.
Phil says like 5G. He missed we had a whole 30-minute, 40-minute discussion about 5G.
Yeah. Anybody want to do a recap on that for him, just so he knows what was going on?
5G bad. 5G no good.
All right, so no, basically that you're not going to get coronavirus from 5G. It can't just create a virus out of the blue, but that it can mutate things. Waves mutate things, and when they do something like that, it could make people that have problems worse because of these strong waves their body's not used to. And also it can mutate the germ itself or the virus itself and actually make it become human born or something. I don't know that for a fact, but that's just kind of something we were spitballing about.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that kind of in general.
So basically, in a nutshell, 5G is not the 5G is not the cause of the coronavirus. 5G is not the coronavirus. 5G could potentially make the symptoms of the coronavirus worse, because what the coronavirus is attacking is your lungs and your cells. And what does 5G do? 5G makes your cells worse. It mutates it, and it's going to mutate probably the virus as well. So if you put 5G on top of what we already have, which is the coronavirus, it's just fucking us up even worse than what it would have done, and who says that this coronavirus is like a shitty virus? Let's just say without the 5G towers that were up and are already up around everywhere, let's just say they weren't, this coronavirus wouldn't have done anything to us. And maybe that's what some people are saying. Maybe they're saying that the coronavirus is real, but without the 5G, it wouldn't have done shit to us. Maybe that's what they're saying. I don't know. But
I don't know, but it is 2:35 in the morning for me, so I think I'm going to jump off here for tonight, you guys. But
yeah, I was just about to thinking about calling it quits too, just for a little bit. It's about that time for me too to go hit the hay sack.
For sure.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna go ahead and get offline, you guys, and that's pretty much how we do it here. Just jump the fuck off when we're ready. So.
You guys can feel free to continue, but I need to lay down, catch me some Z's.
Yeah, it is pretty late over there.
No, I hear you. We might try to jump on tomorrow again and discuss some things here. But we appreciate you guys watching. Another thing too, we might try to get Sirius C in here, even Phil. So if you want to contact either one of us here, you can definitely do that.
Rodney, I'll tell you that right now.
Leave us your email address if you feel comfortable doing that. If you don't, you can actually get in contact with us on Facebook. You can go to the American UFO Society group, the American UFO Society page. You can go to UFOs or Us, or you can go to the Awaken Show. Take your pick. Either one of those, you'll be able to get in contact with us. And also, almost forgot, UFOs over USOs. Am I saying that correct?
U of O.
U of O. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just like University of Oregon.
Yeah. So say it again, just so they hear correctly, Mike.
UFOs over U of O on Instagram.
Okay, and you can check any one of those out. Give us a holler. You're either going to get Mike, you're going to get Randy, you're going to get myself, and you may even get Anthony, who hasn't been on a little bit here too. That's kind of like the unicorn of the bunch right now, but I'm sure he'll be back on pretty soon whenever he gets a chance. And who knows, maybe Terry will be on again, you know.
Take a chill pill.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Maybe we'll get Terry back in here and he'll discuss, you know, some things going on with the Nephilim and
the Rougarou.
The Rougarou and the scriptures and things like that. Maybe we'll...
Yeah, unicorn book. What's that?
Maybe we'll get into some stuff. You never know, you guys. But that's it, man. We're gonna sign off here. You reach your boy Say One History. Everybody, go ahead and give their spills. Signing off.
Well, it's been Randy.
All right, buddy. Well, both of you guys and everybody watching. I don't know why I said buddy. I'm not good at this, but. Everybody have a good night. It was fun hanging out.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, anybody who wants to give us their information, definitely leave their comments or wherever you want to. And we'll get back with you and see if we can get you on. But we're out and we'll talk to you later. Peace.
All right, guys.